Yes guys, here again at Gun Hill, St. George at the signal station once again, which gives awesome views of the St. George Valley and the entire island to be exact. Looking towards the St. George Parish Church, the second oldest place of worship. St. George Parish Church is in the center of the screen. St. George Parish Church is the second oldest place of worship here in Barbados, built in 1641 and rebuilt in 1784. It is less Gothic and more Georgian. St. George Parish Church is at the Glebe in St. George, which is just below Gun Hill. And we can see the St. George Secondary School at Constant in St. George. You can see the Walkers Road leading into the Glebe. And the St. George Valley in the background. St. George is in the center of the island along with the parish of St. Thomas. So there is no sea nor coastline in these parishes. These are the two landlocked parishes here in Barbados. We're looking towards the boarded hall in St. George. We can see the former Buckley Sugar Factory. Buckley is spelled B-U-L-K-E-L-E-Y. Buckley is in St. George. That is where my grandmother from my father's side used to work at the Buckley's plantation. Buckley Sugar Factory closed its doors in 2002. That would be 20 years ago. October 2002 it closed down. So that no longer opens to sugar cane. So all the cane now has to be processed at Port Vale Sugar Factory, which is in St. James, to the northwestern side of the island. You can see the lion statue at Gun Hill as well, which is just beneath the lion. The lion statue was carved in 1868 by Captain Henry Wilkinson, who was an officer at Gun Hill Signal Station. So we are 700 feet above sea level right now. We can see up to the east of the island in the parish of St. Philip. Mostly St. Philip we can see from here with Foul Bay, Mangrove, Curtin, Sam Lars Castle. You can see all up to the airport and Christchurch, which is to the south, the Grantley Adams Airport. Barbados is the only port of entry by air. You can see that from here as well. And Boarded Hall in St. George, which borders St. George and Christchurch. That part of St. George is close to Christchurch with the new housing development, named the Boarded Hall Green. All below here is Walkers and Tate Hill. And the Glebe Polyclinic. And we can see the southwest coast of Barbados along the Carlisle Bay area, where we can see the Hilton and Radisson Hotel, and we can see into Bridgetown, which is our capital. And we can see some cruise ships in the sea as well, in the port. Bridgetown Port and the Water Harbour. And the Central Bank in town as well. Central Bank can best be referred to as the Tom Adams Financial Center. So something about Tom Adams. Tom Adams was our first prime minister, our second prime minister. Tom Adams was Barbados' second prime minister. He was born in 1931 in September and died in March, the 11th of March 1985. He was the son of Sir Grantley Adams, who the airport, our airport, and one of our schools here in St. Joseph, Grantley Adams Memorial Secondary School, which was West St. Joseph Comprehensive School. The Grantley Adams School was named after Sir Grantley Herbert Adams. It was renamed Grantley Adams School in 1984, 1 year before Tom Adams' death. Grantley Adams was the Premier of Barbados, our first Premier, and he was also the Prime Minister of the West Indies. And Grantley Adams was also the founder of the Barbados Labour Party in 1938, which is our current party at present. You can see into the Bridgetown Port and the Water Harbour. We can see the Warrens area, the Warrens Business and Commercial area, which is known as the city, away from the city, where we can see the big buildings. So Warrens is to the western side of Gun Hill, and we can see the Layers St. Michael area that is close to St. Thomas. We can see the Layers area with Chef Foods. Chef Foods is Chafet Foods, the owner of Chafet. So John Haluk, he has an outlet. His warehouse for manufacturing the Chefette foods and the ice cream is also there at Chefette at Lears. And we can see the Roberts Manufacturing Company at Lower Estate in St. George. And we can see the CBC have their antenna or something like that at Gun Hill as well. And they have one in Sturgis, St. Thomas over here as well. You can see the one in St. Thomas from here and the one over here. So we can see all up in St. Thomas now, which is the neighboring parish in the center of the island. We can see Edge Hill and Shop Hill and Grandview Heights and so on. I will get around to giving you guys more views shortly. So Gun Hill Signal Station was built in 1818. First of all, as a fortress to signal when the enemies were coming in. And as I said before, it gives awesome views of almost the entire island. This is the signal station. And the Barbados flag. It says the Barbados National Trust, Building of Historic Interest. And this one says, this sign says, the end of signal stations, the beginning of heritage. Introduction of the telephone in Barbados in 1883 made the use of signal stations as a means of communicating redundant. Government leased the remaining signal stations, with the exception of the Gun Hill and Highgate, to private concerns. Highgate was kept operational at the request of Bridgetown's merchants, as it supplied information on commercial shipping to the Commercial Hall, Bridgetown's Chamber of Commerce. Gun Hill, a heritage icon. In 1981, the Barbados National Trust, BNT, convinced the government of Barbados of the necessity of preserving the Gun Hill signal station. Shortly afterwards, the signal station was leased to the trust, and restoration of the site was started. In addition to Gun Hill, the Cotton Tower and Grenade Hall are also leased to the Barbados National Trust. The latter of the two forms an integral part of Barbados's wildlife reserve attraction. Today, Gun Hill Signal Station attracts between 20,000 and 30,000 visitors per year and stands as one of the finest examples of the Barbados heritage preservation movement. Before I go in, I will read this here quickly. The Gun Hill Signal Station, opened by the Right Honourable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, Queen's Council and Member of Parliament, who is also Tom Adams. That was his name here in Barbados, Tom Adams, but his real name is John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams. He was the son of Granny Adams. I guess give a history about him. He was our second Prime Minister, and it is restored by the Barbados National Trust. So we're going here now. I think this is the kitchen section. And this is the utensil I used to use back in the day. You can see the old iron. You can see the jugging board. You can see the kerosene oil lamp. You can see the pot and jars and so on. You can see all of the walkers in St. George and the St. George Valley. Yes guys, to me this camera quality is so much better than the other one I was using previously. I use two cameras, by the way. I have two cameras I use. First of all, guys, I would like to ask you to please comment. Please leave a comment on the video underneath. Let me know what you think about it. I have been receiving less comments and interaction from my subscribers these days. Please say something, and also yes, the views are plentiful, Sometimes I get 1,000 and something views, but yet only 1 like and 2 likes. Please like the video and comment. Please, I'm begging you guys to comment and like it. Please. Please say something nice. Even if it's just to say hi or to congratulate me on the good work I'm doing and bringing the beauty of Barbados to you guys. Just say something. Please. I would appreciate it. I love to interact with my subscribers and viewers. Not just to see the views and don't know who's watching them and don't know how people think about them. Just say something. Please. Again, we can see the St. George Parish Church. St. George Parish Church is the final resting place of my grandmother from my father's side. Again, I will state this fact that my father is from St. George. My father is from this parish. For those of you who don't know who my father is, Satchmore that used to sing with the Sand Pebbles years ago, back in the 60s and 70s, possibly the 80s, is my father. My father used to sing with, he also was a songwriter. He used to write songs for Randy Allen, Carolyn Licott. He also used to sing spooge music. He also used to sing back in the days with Clarence Thompson, Jackie Orpel, the Draytons too, and Richard Stout, and he wrote the song. He wrote a lot of famous Barbadian songs. Famous songs like What I Gotta Give Me for Christmas, Beautiful and Unspoiled by Shara Hackett. Shara Hackett sings that song. He wrote that for her. And A Thing About You by Randy Allen. Some of Randy Allen's songs, he wrote them as well. That's nice. Taking the beautiful St. George Valley. And this is an old map of Barbados from back in the 1670s, 1678. A map of the world, sorry. And this is Prince Edward visiting the Gun Hill Signal Station on the 29th of April 1992. He was revisiting the Pomerac tree in the background. And this was him when he came to the signal station on Sunday, March 1st, 1987. Military history of Barbados. And the artillery unit, the Barbados Volunteers, circa 1904. And the 1st Battalion West India Regiment on parade at the garrison is circa 1898. There's British troops in camp at Moncrief circa 1900. And the officers of the 21st Foot, later the Royal Scots Fusiliers in camp at Gun Hill in 1862. The restoration of Gun Hill Signal Station in 1982. A map of Barbados dating back to 1728. And the genesis of lookouts, the genesis of signal stations and lookouts within the context of the Atlantic world. Lookouts and vantage points in Barbados are defensive necessity. From Bracelet to Gun Hill. And this is the pathway to lead you back to the above terrace at Gun Hill signal station. And this is the Barbados flag. So again, I'm in the parish of St. George, in the center of the island. And you get more better views from here now, more than before. CBC's antenna. We're looking into St. Thomas now, which is the neighboring parish. So this is St. George now that I'm in. This part of St. George is St. George now. You see into St. Thomas. First of all, I will start with the antenna, CBC's antenna, which is at Sturgis, St. Thomas. CBC stands for Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. So this part of St. George is close to St. Thomas as well. CBC's antenna. And next antenna for Gun Hill, St. George. I always wonder what this, I thought it was some weather radar or something, but it's CBC, it belongs to CBC. Farmer operates plantation, the chimney for operates plantation, operates border St. Thomas and St. George. Operates was a plantation and a sugar factory, and it closed down in 1965, and then it later was taken over by World, WIRL, West Indies Records Limited, that used to produce records for reggae music, calypso music, spools music, soca music, and other forms of Caribbean music, Caribbean gospel music. Artists like Joseph Nell, Sister Marshall, and my father, and the Drayton Stew, Richard Stout, Mighty Groiner, Randy Allen, Carolyn Leacock, Orgalot Seal, with the Bright Spray and the Children of God's Flowers of God's Garden, and the Children's Party, and also Mighty Sparrow, Lord Kitchener, some reggae artists like Phyllis Dillon and Byron Lee and the Dragonaires and Keith Flynn and Ken Lazarus and so on. We used to do music here, and some gospel choirs like the Wesley Singers of Barbados and Christ Church Parish Church and St. Michael's Cathedral and St. Peter's Parish Church Choir. All did their records here. That was back in the 60s, 70s, 80s mostly. And we can see the Cuthbert Moore Primary School at Market Hill in St. George as well. And we can see all up to Grandview Heights and Shop Hill, St. Thomas, and Edge Hill. And we can see Jack in the Box Gully, which is in St. Thomas as well. And we can see all to Hopewell, St. Thomas, and Ashford, and all to the Harrison Scale area. You can see all to the Bridgetown Port and Deepwater Harbour, and all to the Warrens area again. And we can even see the flour mill, and we can see some of the ships in the harbour in Bridgetown. You can see all in the St. George Valley again. You can see the Central Bank in Bridgetown, and we can see the Hilton Hotel and the Radisson, which is a part of Carlisle Bay. So we can see Carlisle Bay, a little bit of Carlisle Bay, which is on the southwest coast, and into Bridgetown. Carlisle Bay is close to Bridgetown, it runs into Bridgetown. And this is the signal stations from back in the day here in Barbados. Signal stations of Barbados. This is supposed to be Dover Fort in St. Peter. I don't know if that's still operational, but I know Grenell Hall, Cotton Tower, and Hollygate. Grenell Hall is in St. Peter, opposite Friday Hill National Park, next to the Barbados Wildlife Reserve. Cotton Tower in St. Joseph at Horace Hill and Bowen Alley in St. Joseph. Hollygate in St. Michael, above Banks, Breweries in Colin Rock. And Moncrief, which is between St. Philip and St. John. Thank you guys for watching now. And have a blessed evening.